Hello, ASMR Nation. So today I have 3 books that I highly recommend. I have read all of these books more than once, and I usually don't do that. There's only a handful of books that I have read more than once, like less than 10. But these are fiction books that I consistently recommend to people. 2 of them I feel like anybody would like, and one of them is a little more, I guess, sci-fi, but also it's like sci-fi, but it's like addiction fiction. It's like addiction fiction zombie. So, I've even talked about it in other videos before, but it's pretty exciting because I got my bookshelf back. My toddler is finally old enough where he's not ripping everything in my house to shreds. So I got to bring my books in from the boxes in the attic. So I have my bookshelf, so I can do a lot more real book content than I used to do. You know, I typically still read on my Kindle because that's just the easiest way for me to read. But I do have, 100 books over here now. I have my books, and then I have my tarot cards. So this room is coming together. It was a long time coming. Before I show you the books, let's do some light housekeeping. If you are new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you are old here, welcome back, OGs. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, double check. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit the like if you like. It helps. Leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. What book do you consistently recommend? Like, you always find yourself saying, you need to read this. Hit the notification bell, and as always, I will link my tip jars in the description box. Anything donated to the channel is very much appreciated. No pressure whatsoever, but it's there, along with my wish list. Okay. So, we have the first one. Two of these are, well, one is a movie now. Well, it has been. And then one is a miniseries now. Even though the miniseries came out like 10 years after the book came out. And the other one just should be a movie. I just wish it was. But we will start with this national bestseller. A Simple Plan by Scott Smith, the author of The Ruins. I have not read The Ruins. The Ruins seems so different than this, though. Because I think The Ruins has like a sci-fi element, doesn't it? I don't know. It's probably good. And I say that like I don't like sci-fi because typically I don't. I don't like sci-fi. But there's a few little subgenres in sci-fi that I do like. So this is A Simple Plan, not to be confused with A Simple Favor, the movie and the book that came out a few years ago. This is very old, like as old as me. No, probably not that old. Simply the best suspense novel of the year. Read this book, Stephen King. I don't really listen to blurbs like that because I don't know how that works. It all seemed so simple. 2 brothers and their friends stumble upon the wreckage of a plane. The pilot is dead, and his duffel bag contains $4 million in cash. Cold, hard cash. The men agree to hide, keep, and share the fortune. But what started off as a simple plan slowly devolves into a gruesome nightmare none of them can control. A spectacular thriller, the year's finest literary shivers. Oh, wait, there goes a plane. Sorry, guys. A beautifully controlled piece of writing. Expertly crafted, A Simple Plan will make you feel like an unindicted conspirator. Like watching a train wreck, there is nothing to be done, but it is impossible to turn away. astonishing. I got this book for $4. I love an old paperback like this. Gotta sniff it. It smells delightful. So yes, this book is about two brothers that stumble upon a plane crash and find a ton of cash. And, you know, seemingly when the book starts, they're brothers that have a pretty decent relationship. But enter cash, enter greed, enter secret, and enter demise. So I think this is Scott Smith's first novel, because it says Scott Smith's first novel is that rare and satisfying combination of a compulsive thriller, which also happens to be a beautifully written original work of art. So yes, this is A Simple Plan by Scott Smith, and the pages, let's see how many pages there are. My sweet spot is like 350. This is 415, so it is on the longer side of what I typically pick up, but not that much longer. Yeah, give me an old, easy to carry, lightweight paperback any day of the week. Okay, next we have, so the movie for that one, Billy Bob Thornton, Bill Paxton, may he rest in peace. Those are the brothers. I don't know if it was in theaters. It looks a little bit lower budget than theaters, but it was good. It was good. Okay. Another New York Times bestseller, William Landay, Defending Jacob. Ingenious, clever blend of legal thriller, and I'm not a legal thriller reader whatsoever. I've only read a few legal thrillers that I enjoyed. This, and then Kia Abdullah's legal thrillers are bomb. But this one is, Andy Barber has been an assistant district attorney for 2 decades. He is respected, admired in the courtroom, happy at home with the loves of his life, his wife Lori, and their teenage son Jacob. Then Andy's quiet suburb is stunned by a shocking crime, a young boy stabbed to death in a leafy park. And an even greater shock, the accused is Andy's own son, a shy, awkward, and mysterious Jacob. Andy believes in Jacob's innocence, any parent would, but the pressure mounts, damning evidence, doubt, a faltering marriage, the neighbor's contempt, a murder trial that threatens to obliterate Andy's family. It is the ultimate test for any parent. How far would you go to protect your child? It is a test of devotion, a test of how well a parent can know a child. For Andy Barber, a man with an iron will and a dark secret, it is a test of guilt and innocence in the deepest sense. How far would you go? So, this book, the father is basically the main character. He's a assistant district attorney, so he's prosecuting criminals, in his area. That's what his day job is. And he gets wind of a homicide. And it's a young kid that was the victim. I've got like an itch on my back. It's killing me. And so he starts taking on the case. Relatively soon, he finds out that his son is being implicated. Now, typically, he should remove himself from the case immediately. However, he doesn't. He wants to stay on the case and get ahead of it for his son. that's not ethical. So, it is really good and gripping emotional murder saga. Emotionally serious, suspenseful, and engrossing. Superb defending Jacob soars as Landay's rich plot weaves in parenting skills, unconditional love, and the law. This is a mini-series. It was on Apple TV with Chris Pine and Michelle Dockery, and I don't know the name of the actor that played Jacob. They nailed it. It was pretty much like the book, but the acting was great, and I highly recommend reading the book and then watching the mini-series. If you don't have Apple TV, it's probably available to like rent on something as well. Even maybe like your local library might have it on DVD, Blu-ray DVD. So that is William Landay defending Jacob. I think this is I'm pretty sure I've bought both of these books a few times. These were not my originals. So. William Landay does have other books. I have not read them because typically I don't read legal thrillers, but I would give another one of his a shot. Okay. This last one. Fiend. Now this is gritty. This is by Peter Stenson, a novel. This is not my first copy of this book. I have loaned this book out a few times and had to repurchase it several times because I will not be without it, and I'm not loaning it out anymore. I'm not loaning books out anymore because I don't get them back all the time. Or if I do get them back, I have to ask 10 times, like, do you still have my book? And books aren't cheap anymore, unless you go to get them used, Okay. So, advanced praise for Fiend. Certain to invite comparisons to Hubert Selby Jr. and Cormac McCarthy. Cormac McCarthy is the author of The Road. Cormac McCarthy, one scalding pressure cooker of a novel. And I advise you to buckle up and hold on tight because you're in for one hell of a ride. That was Donald Ray Pollock. This is the real meat, the last zombie novel you'll ever need. I've read a few zombie novels. This one, World War Z. Can't think of the rest. Peter Stenson has done the near impossible in delivering a savage firestorm of a page-turner while also enabling an earnest look at addiction and love. I tore through Fiend with the crazed fervor of an addict, but like all great stories, these characters lingered in my thoughts long after I turned the last beautiful and brutal page. Ellen Heathcock. Peter Stenson is the bastard child of Cormac McCarthy, another Cormac McCarthy reference, and George Romero. In Fiend, he takes the reader on a dark joyride replete with junkies, zombies, and buckets of gore. Here is a novel that will jack your pulse and break your heart all at once. So this combines two of my favorite genres, which is addiction fiction and zombies. Addiction fiction. Oops, sorry, I bumped you. I'm so sorry. Addiction fiction and zombies. Okay. So there is more than one kind of monster. When Chase Daniels first sees the little girl in the umbrella print socks tearing open a Rottweiler, he's not too concerned. As a long-time M addict, the substance that starts with M is the substance of this book. As a long-time M addict, he is no stranger to horrifying drug-fueled hallucinations. But as he and his fellow junkies soon discover, the little girl is no illusion. The end of the world really has arrived. Oh yeah, apocalypse. Well, all zombie stuff is apocalypse, apocalyptic. The funny thing is, Chase's life was over long before the apocalypse got here. His existence already reduced to a stinking basement apartment and a filthy mattress, and an endless grind of buying and selling and using. He's lied and cheated and stolen and broke his parents' hearts 1,000 times. And he threw away his only shot at sobriety a long time ago, when he chose to embrace the drug over the woman he still loves. And if your life's already shattered beyond any normal hopes of redemption, well, maybe the end of the world is an opportunity. Maybe it's a last chance for Chase to hit restart and become the man he once dreamed of being. Soon he's fighting to reconnect with his lost love and dreaming of becoming her hero among civilization's ruins. But is salvation just another pipe dream, propelled by a blistering first-person voice and featuring a powerfully compelling anti-hero? Fiend is at once a riveting portrait of addiction, a pitch-black love story, and a meditation of hope, redemption, and delusion, not to mention one hell of a zombie novel. So, there's a Peter Stenson himself right there. Actually, usually I'm surprised when I see an author's picture that I've never seen before. I'm like, that's her? That's him? But this just looks like what I thought Peter Stenson would look like. Peter Stenson received his MFA from Colorado State University in 2012. His stories and essays have been published in The Sun, Bellevue Literary Review, The Greensboro Review, Confrontation, Post Road Fugue, Harbor Palette, and The Pinch, Blue Mesa Review, and elsewhere. He is also a recovering addict and has been sober for 10 years. Go Peter! Go Peter! He lives with his wife and daughter in Denver, Colorado. Also available as an ebook. I don't know, by now it might also be available as an audiobook. I'm pretty sure the other two are both available as an audiobook, as they were bestsellers. So that is my final recommendation. Fiend. I love the cover. I just love this whole book. I love the cover. And yes, I do love paperbacks, but I love this too. Alright. If you are still there, thank you for watching to the end. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and or a good night's sleep, and I will see y'all